My name's Amy Parsons, and I'm from the library, that brown building right over there. So if you ever want to come see me in person, that's where I live most of the time. I'm going to talk to you about how to access a lot of stuff on our website, and then get into some details about some of the specific research databases that you guys will be using in the program. And then we'll talk about the website first, and then I'll go over the specific databases on the handout. And as hard as I tried, I looked over this handout. I made it last spring, or last fall for the group, and it worked really well. And there's always changes. Things are always changing. And wouldn't you know, there's a couple things I left out, so I'll have you correct those as we go along. There's a couple things I wanted to add that I skipped over and forgot, so it happens. First things first, this is the university web page. And in a lot of classes, especially the undergrad, but maybe the graduates too, they brainwash you to go into my ozone. They're like, go into my ozone for everything. I don't want you to do that. I want you to go to, see where it says library at the top? Just go straight to the library. Don't go into my ozone. And the reason for that is, if you're in my ozone, you can search the library through my ozone. But if you're in there and you're searching, it'll time you out. And I don't want you to get timed out. You have a really great search, you finally find what you need, and you turn around and then it's gone. So I always caution people, just go into library, or just Google Otterbein University Library. Sometimes if you just do Otterbein Library, you'll get this little public library in Otterbein, Indiana. That's not us. So, you know, that happens with Google. So if we go to the library homepage, there's a lot here. And for some reason in these classes, it defaults to Internet Explorer. So I'm in Internet Explorer right now, but most people these days use Chrome or Firefox. It may behave a little funky today, so just bear with me. So we're going to talk about the tabs across the top, the center of the page. But first, I want to point out on the right side, the hours for the library are here. Today we close at 6 because it's Friday. Most days during the school year, we are open at 7:45 in the morning till 2 the next morning. When I tell people that, they usually get confused, and I just tell them we close when the bars close, and they get it. So I don't work there till 2 a.m., but we're open till 2 a.m. But you can see all of our hours here if you click on View Library Hours. We do have a little bit briefer summer term hours. We close at 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and we're not open on weekends because we had so few people come in during the summer weekends. It didn't warrant us keeping the building open. So the hours are listed there. And the other thing I always like to point out is we have a chat line, chat online with a librarian. If you have a brief question, you can click on that and type it in. There should be someone monitoring that line just about the whole time we're open. I have hours on that line as well. When I have my reference duty, I have it open on my desk. So you can ask somebody there. And there's also a place where you can schedule a research consultation. Now those are going to funnel, if you're nursing, they're going to funnel those to me. So you can either email me and say, I'd like to sit with you and search for things, or we can just work through it through email. I always tell people the best way to contact me is usually email, because I'm looking at it on my phone, you know, I'll answer people on the weekend or whatever. You know, you're never away from your email these days. So, but you can schedule a research consultation from our homepage. And the other important things on this page, the OneSearch tab. These tabs are, if you click on each of them, they light up a little bit lighter red. So sometimes I forget where I am, and I'll click the LibGuide and think I'm on OneSearch. So you just kind of got to be mindful where you are. So the OneSearch, you can find nursing materials here. You can find scholarly, peer-reviewed nursing materials within OneSearch as well. I kind of describe it as academic Googling because it searches multiple types of materials, not just books, not just articles, and then in multiple places. It's not just Otterbein. It's going to search for books in other places as well. If you don't like that and you want to go straight to a specialized nursing database, I'll show you how to do that too, but I want to give you lots of options. So I'll go ahead and run some searches in each of these and we'll talk about them. So what did I do here? I did nursing and bullying. It happens. So one search, if we do a search like that in there, it takes a second because it's so big. So give it a second. So we get 200,000 hits. I mean, you're never going to look at all those, and 3/4 of them, 90% of them may not even be relevant. But again, it feels like Google, but it's more academic. You can see the screen okay, right? It looks funny on my monitor. It's real bright, like bright blue letters. In nursing, you usually want scholarly or peer-reviewed things. With OneSearch, I constantly tell people to narrow things down because you get so many hits. So usually we'll click on scholarly or peer-reviewed, which will narrow just to scholarly academic things. And then when it's done updating, we'll slide the date slider forward in time. You guys usually want the last 10 years or the last 5 years worth of data with a lot of your stuff. So keep that in mind too. And with OneSearch, they call it a discovery layer because it goes to so many places. You'll discover things that you never knew existed in multiple formats. There's ebooks, there's electronic encyclopedia chapters. There's lots of different things that you could find. And they're in multiple languages as well. See, this one says it's in Chinese. So you can narrow to English. You can narrow the geography to United States. Another strategy for that, it just popped in my head. I'm always telling people search strategies. If you want things that happen just in the US, use United States as one of your keywords. That's always a good way to narrow it down. Let's see, let me click on, if you click on the article title of one of these, you can see here the PDF full text is right there. You could click on it and get to the PDF. If you click on the article title, it takes you to a brief citation page. And a couple of things I like to point out here is the subject categories. A lot of times when you come to me for help and you tell me what you're searching for, I'll run a preliminary search, and then I always take a look at those major subject headings because 9 times out of 10 I find a term that I didn't even think of that might work a little better. It's like a key going into a lock. It just kind of hits it a little better and opens up things. This one, maybe work environment, would have been a broader topic to try. What else on this page? Oh, the stuff on the right where it says tools. And I'll kind of repeat this again when we look at the EBSCO, when we look at Cinahl and some other ones. You can add these articles to a folder and then email the whole folder to yourself, which I do that a lot. If with nursing students, if they say, I'm not finding anything, I'll do a preliminary search. I'll find 5 things, I'll put them in a folder, email them to you, and say, this is what I found. These are the search terms I used. This is the database where I found it. So you can then replicate it and find more things. Or tell me, Amy, that's completely not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this. You know, we'll have a conversation and we'll try to narrow it down. You can email each one individually to yourself. You can save these to either, if you're logged in as yourself here on campus, you can save it to the Z drive, which is space on the Otterbein server. I have all of my stuff saved there. You can make folders and manage your information that way. If you have a laptop, you can create folders and save them, you know, to your laptop. This button, the freshmen love it. I'm sure the grad students love it too. The Cite button, the magic Cite button. I clicked it, didn't I? Yeah, I clicked it. Why isn't it showing? Work with me here. Oh, here it is. It just looks different. It looks different on the screen. So if you click the Cite button, it gives you your APA reference. And what I usually tell people is you can copy it in an open Word document, paste it into a Word document, then you have your APA reference. Now remember, this is computer generated, so it may not be perfect. And you want to edit everything and make sure everything's up to par before you turn it into your professor, because some of these nursing professors are real sticklers for everything APA. I'm happy to take APA questions and help you look for the answer when it comes to APA. But some of these are perfectly fine. But get used to looking at what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to be the author and then the date in parentheses, and that one looks pretty good. I've looked at it enough now that I pretty much know APA. I'm supposed to know all of the styles because I'm a librarian, but basically I just look for the answers for everybody because I can't keep it all in my head. It just kind of falls out after a while. This export button, this is another way to manage your information. If you click export, some people love this, some people don't use it at all. There is a direct export to Refworks, which is another piece of software. I won't call it a database because it's not a database until you populate it with your citations. Then it's kind of your own personal database. But I wanted to point it out early, and then we'll go into Refworks and I'll show you what it looks like. But you have to sign up for an account in Refworks, and you can export your citations into your account, make folders, create bibliographies, and literally hundreds of writing styles, including APA, of course. A lot of the professors that publish articles use it to hold their information and to create their bibliographies inside. There's also a permalink link that you could send, if you find an article and you want to shoot it to your professor and say, want to take a look at this, see if this is something that, will work for this assignment or whatever. Back to the results list. Let's see. I think that's all I wanted to point out right now for OneSearch. Again, it's like academic Google. Some people love it, some people hate it. I don't know how I feel about it. I tend, with nursing, I tend to go right to that Cinahl or Pubmed or something more specific. With my freshmen, with literature searches, with social science kind of searches, I might use OneSearch because it's broader and I might discover something. I'm get a drink real quick. So back to the library homepage. Let's see. That was the first tab. The second tab, it's called Books, but it doesn't just search for books. It says search the Otterbein catalog. Our catalog includes DVDs and other things. We have music CDs. We have all kinds of things over there. And the DVDs on nursing are literally shelved right with the books about nursing. So I know one of the classes you got to study a lot on nursing theorists, and there's like a 20-set DVD on lots of nursing theorists, and some of the students have found those to be really helpful. So let's see, I did public health nursing, just a keyword search. That's usually how I start preliminary searches. I don't do anything fancy. And this is our catalog. It's called Opal, and we're part of Ohio Private Academic Consortium, because that's where we get the funny name. And you can see some relevant hits here with those keywords. I'll just start with this first one called Community and Public Health Nursing. It says it's located in the main collection. And then you'll see the call number there. It starts with RT. The nursing collection's on the 3rd floor, and the Library of Congress call number for nursing is RT. Health and medicine stuff is Rs. So if you wanted to see psychology, it would be an RC. You'd go up there and browse, you'd see a lot of the stuff is housed in the R section. This one says it's available, which means it should be up there on the 3rd floor on the shelf. If that said like due May 14th or something, that would be checked out, obviously. And if you needed it for a class or you wanted to look at it maybe to use to cite for a paper, your other option is to search Ohiolink. I'd go to Ohiolink first. This Search Ohio is good as well. This is more for public library stuff. Academic is more Ohiolink stuff. What this does is you click on it and it takes you out to the statewide Ohiolink catalog. And we're pretty fortunate in the state of Ohio because it searches pretty much every academic library in the state of Ohio. And I brought my, this is where, you guys haven't gone to get your Cardinal cards yet, have you? Go get one, because this functions as your library card. And to order things from Ohiolink, you click on the title, and then you would click Request, and then choose your school. Let's go down to Otterbein. And then it's going to ask for your name, and it's going to ask for your barcode, and that barcode is going to be that really long number at the bottom. And I don't expect you to remember all these details. You can just email me, if you forget. I do have a reminder, I think, on the top of that handout about this. This also functions as your library card over there if you find a book and you want to check it out. If you get a new card, get married, change your name, get a new card, anything, we need to know because we need this number to match what's in our system. So if your card doesn't work, if it acts weird, email me, let me know your card number and your name, and I will check with circulation. Or you can call the circulation desk and they will work it out for you and we'll figure it out. So you can borrow things through Ohiolink if we don't have it on the shelf. When you order things through Ohiolink, it takes 3 to 5 business days depending on when you order it. And you can keep them for like 3 or 4 weeks, something like that, and you can renew things pretty readily as well. That was the other thing I wanted to show you on the library homepage, where to get to renew items. Let me go back. Under My Account here, or under Search the Otterbein catalog, let's see, My Account here. Any place you see My Account, you can click there and put your name and your barcode in. It's going to tell you what you have checked out. It's going to tell you when the stuff is due, and you can check boxes and just click renew and renew things online. If you order things from Ohiolink, it'll show you what you ordered. You can cancel your order if it's not already in transit. If it's in transit, that means it's on its way. And you can always tell us, hey, I don't need that anymore, and we can pull it and send it right back. So that's always a handy thing to know too. Let's see. The next tab is journals. This one doesn't get used a whole lot, but once you get into looking at article citations, you sometimes get citations that don't have the full text and you can't find it online, and this is a strategy. This is a good way to try to find it online. This searches the A to Z journal list. So if you have a journal title at the top of your citation, so health, this is one I search for a lot, Journal of Community Health Nursing. This is a database, the A to Z journal list. This shows us which databases this journal lives in. So Academic Search Complete, Cinahl Plus, Consumer Health. This lives in a lot of places. It's a popular one. Notice this one from 1984 to the present. Embargo means that you can't see the full text for the last 18 months. That has to do with licensing with research. It's different for every single journal title. That just happens within the online environment. That doesn't mean we can't access that full text another way. We can get it through interlibrary loan, having another school pull it off their shelf, scan it, and send it to you through email. So there's other ways to get it. But getting back to this, so you'd click on one of these database links, and let's say my citation said I needed 2013 volume 30 issue 3, and it was pages whatever. You'd click and you kind of work backwards, and then you find your article. So that's what Journal Title tab does. It's for looking for those specific citations, seeing which database it lives in. I use it a lot of times when I'm trying to track down funky citations that people can't find. The Lib Guides tab, Lib Guides, click on Browse All Guides, and you can go to Nursing or go to Amy Parsons, because I got a whole bunch of Lib Guides. Short Lib Guides, long library guides. Basically, these are like mini websites designed around your syllabus. I don't have them made for every single class, but I have a lot for nursing because the nursing faculty love these things. Let me just pick one that's really popular. 5220, evidence-based informatics. I think that's going on right now. I'm getting questions already. So what I do is I look at the syllabus and I try to design the LibGuide to match the words from your syllabus to ease your frustration in the class. So, because I know that you guys usually are working full time and you want to find the answers right away. So the tabs across have to do with things that go on in this class. Like there's a PICO question paper. You look for qualitative and quantitative articles, and I have hints and search strategies on how to do that here. In every one of my LibGuides, I have a Citing Sources with APA tab. Lots of places to look for APA help. Sometimes we just get bogged down with the question in APA and we just need to see it from different angles. So I try to find the APA style blog is here, the OWL at Purdue formatting guide is here, and the APA tutorial, and there's also an electronic APA manual and the paper version as well. So those will all be here. Oh, we were going to talk about Refworks. That's right. Refworks tab I've got on almost all of the LibGuides, and I'm going to go back to the library homepage. It's listed here under Quick Links, and it's under Research Databases. If you go to the alphabetical listing and just go to R, it's listed there too. But just real quick, Refworks is literally a bibliographic management tool, and you have to sign up for an account, and initially when you sign up for it, it's going to be empty. So remember that export button? You can export things into it. So I'll just go into mine. Don't laugh at my login name. What's my, let's see. It's old, it's an old joke. I have mostly books in mine because I'm also the liaison for the Common Book for the university, and I create big bibliographies of different types of books for the freshmen to read. So I just wanted to show you this real quick because it's so cool. Once you populate this thing and create folders and whatnot, you can click on Create Bibliography, and you can choose your output style, APA, and then Create Bibliography. See if it does it for me. I know when you do it in front of people, things screw up, so we'll see. See, in this stupid Internet Explorer stuff. There. And again, this is computer generated, so it saves you some time, but you want to edit this and you want to make sure things are, you know, APA correct in the APA world. So Refworks is there for your taking. If you don't like it, you don't want it, you don't have to use it. Some people love it, some people don't use it at all. I find it makes life a little easier because it makes that, you know, APA style, and I don't have to think about it. Oh, an important thing. Let me see if there's anything. Oh, there's a couple more things from the web page I want to point out. Whenever you click on Find It inside one of these databases and you don't see the PDF link right away, and you click on Find It, and it'll say your option is to use interlibrary loan. There is an ILL request link here. Click there, and you use journal and magazine articles. Click that. Again, your name and your barcode. You'll get, I'm not going to log in this time, you get electronic form. You can copy and paste the citation into that, and it'll ask how much you're willing to pay. Just say 0, because we get them free. If the journal article lives at Wright State, they'll pull it, they'll scan it. You can get it in your email as a PDF. So don't be afraid of interlibrary loan. Don't be intimidated by it. It's doable, 3 to 5 business days. If you forget, I can walk you through the process, or I can remind you how to find the link to get there. And then the other thing that's new this year, which I didn't put on your handout, the digital commons at Otterbein. And this is really new. We went live with this in the fall, but I wanted to point it out because you are graduate students, and your papers at the end of your time here, when you create your theses and dissertations, they will be uploaded into this thing. So we're just literally populating this thing now, and it is actually scholarship created by Otterbein people. So if you want to see something a faculty member has written in nursing, or something a student has written in nursing. Now, the old school way was we bound them in paper, and you'd have to go to the library and pull it and look through it and read it. But now you can, starting with last year's group, you can search for student scholarship, like nursing student scholarship, doctoral theses, and literally see the PDFs of your former classmates that were here. Now, there aren't that many because we just started populating this thing. And as we go forward in time, we'll have more and more. But I just wanted to point out that those are there, and it's pretty slick. And this is scholarship from all over Otterbein, all kinds of topics. And this thing, I don't know if you can see that map very well, but it shows where it's being downloaded all over the world, which is kind of cool. I like that. So people are looking at Otterbein work all over the world. It's pretty amazing. Okay, back to the databases. Let's say, Amy, I don't want to use OneSearch. I want to just go to the nursing stuff. I get you. I do that all the time. Let me show you how. I guess we'll start talking about what's on this handout. Yeah, we'll start talking about, we'll just go down through. The first link, I've got, the reminder about the ozone. Oh, and your username and password. Your ozone username and password is what you need to log in off campus. That's another thing. I think I've got it on almost all of my Lib Guides, like front and center, to remind people. And again, about the Cardinal Card, and we went through OneSearch already. EBSCO databases. If you want to just get to the nursing databases, from this page, make sure OneSearch is highlighted, and then click on Research Databases right here. And that's going to show you by subject. You can click on medicine and health or nursing, either one. It's going to show you a long list of health-related research databases. Now, I listed my favorite ones that I use, and you guys end up using most, the ones that give us the best results. Some of them are really specialized. Now, the Academic Search Complete pretty much covers all topics. You can find scholarly nursing things in there. I do use it sometimes when I've exhausted other things and I just want to see if there's anything else. I do use it. My other favorite is Cinahl, Cinahl. We'll start there. Click on that one. And the cool thing, EBSCO is like people call all of these databases EBSCO, but EBSCO is like a big umbrella corporate name. It covers like multiple topics of databases. There's the medical ones, there's social sciences, and other EBSCO databases. So You can search just Cinahl, or what I usually end up doing is I click Choose Databases, and then I click on Medline and Health Source, Nursing and Academic. Those are the big three I search within the EBSCO environment. And then you can see them all across. You can search them all at the same time. So that's a little bit of a trick. And somewhere under search options, there's the peer-reviewed box. Usually I check peer-reviewed. I usually leave the full text box unchecked because a lot of time the full text is linked underneath that Find It button, and you'll only get things with PDFs attached if you click that full text box. When I run a search in here, I leave it on Select a Field usually, and I usually leave the and, the or, and the not just at and because I want to pull the terms together. I tend to use or inside the box for synonyms like women or boys, women or girls, boys or men. Synonyms, words that kind of mean the same thing. Those are some search strategies that I use. And then not will exclude a term like prescription drugs, not recreational drugs. You use it kind of like that. But 9 times out of 10, I keep it at and. So let's see, what did I search for in EBSCO? Workplace violence and nursing. Yeah, this one worked. And then I just threw nursing in. You don't always have to put nursing in if you're inside a health or nursing database, but these databases are getting bigger and bigger, so I tend to put the word nursing in sometimes. It just depends. So we got like 1,300 hits. It's a mediocre size, but we can narrow this, narrow the date here. Probably need to narrow it a little bit more. It shows that we've already chosen peer-reviewed, and you'll see the PDFs here, full text. This is one that doesn't have the full text listed. You can click on Find It, and it's going to link out to the EJC, the Electronic Journals Center. Now, when you're at home and it does this, when you click on the EJC, it's going to ask you for your name and your institution and your barcode before you see that purple line across there and you get to that screen. And see how that popped up? When you're at home, you want to turn off your pop-up blockers and allow that to pop up because it needs to. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there and you're going to be like, well, why isn't this working? It worked beautiful when Amy did it. I don't know why it didn't work for me. So you can get to the full text. You kind of have to follow the links, and then you get to that little full text symbol, and there it is. So, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but once you get used to moving around in one of these databases, you'll pretty much be comfortable in most of them. So let's see. If you guys have any questions, just shout out. I'm interruptible. The other research databases, how long do we have? Till 5? I think. I don't remember. I get carried away because there's so much. Till 5? Okay, we don't have a whole lot of time. Let's skip down to Cochrane Library. That one's really important. I like to point this one out. Cochrane Library. This one's really specialized, and if you work in a hospital, you might be familiar with it already. It's evidence-based medicine, and you click Search CDSR, and they're always changing their interface. This thing just got changed just a little while ago. I got used to moving around in it, and then they changed it again. So I usually do a really broad search of a topic. One that I worked with a student for a long time was smoking cessation, and we found all of these systematic, it searches for evidence-based systematic reviews, which pulls together, and literature reviews. It pulls together bodies of evidence, bodies of literature that support a theory or a clinical theory within research in medicine. Oh, I spelled it wrong. B-R-A-S-T. Look at all the ones that came up with the typo. How interesting. I was like, I know I got more stuff than that when I did this practice search. Okay. What I want you to be mindful of in Cochrane is these codes on the left. This blue thingy says it's a review. That's okay. And the NS means new search. It means the research is ongoing and someone just did a new search and it might have some new developments in it. CC means conclusions changed. Like this one, fraction size and radiation treatment for breast conservation and early breast cancer. This one had a new search and the conclusions were changed recently. So this stuff is like brand new research that's going on today. And some of them are even withdrawn. So you just want to be mindful of those things. And this is, again, it's a systematic reviews and evidence-based literature reviews. These, if your professor says, I want you to find research articles, these are not those. These are systematic reviews. They're a different kind of research. Research articles usually mean they want you to find qualitative and quantitative studies. We've done the study, here's the methodology, and here's the conclusions. They're kind of built different. And the place to look for those is, we got 5 minutes, Pubmed, which Pubmed is probably one that you're familiar with as well, some of you. You can get to Pubmed, Google Pubmed, and search it the same way. I'm going to search it here, but what's the word? Advantage of searching it through our website is you'll get more opportunities to click on things for full text. If your professor says, I want you to find research articles, qualitative and quantitative type articles, I usually send you to Pubmed, and you can do a search at the very top, but my favorite place to go is clinical queries. It's kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense, clinical queries, but once you get used to it, memorize it, it makes sense. I'll just do a real quick search just to show you what it looks like. And then you get 3 columns, and the clinical studies will be on the left, systematic reviews in the middle, and the genetics ones I usually ignore. The clinical studies are the ones that you want to look at. You can also find the same flavor of article in Cinahl and in any of those EBSCO databases. You can put in literally in your search terms, you could put in your topic and then put research article, or click one of the qualifiers as research article at the bottom. Let's see. Talked about LibGuides. Oh, sometimes I'm embedded in Blackboard in your classes. Not in all the classes, but when I am listed to be in your class inside of Blackboard, I will make a research thread, and I can add things there. You can ask me questions there, and I can provide the answer, and then everybody can see the answer, because usually if one person has a question, everybody kind of benefits from it, because you might have the same question. So, and there's more APA citation help, like if you want to go to the Writing Center, it's on the 2nd floor of the library. They help a lot of people. They will go through your paper with you, line by line, looking for flow and accuracy, making sure things work, and they will look at technical things with APA, but I'm more than happy to look at APA as well. So hopefully, and my contact information's on the bottom of this. And, oh, at the very bottom where it says Otterbein thesis and dissertation, scratch out my paragraph and just put ETD, because that's wrong. It's not under teaching and learning anymore, and that's another thing I have to fix on this handout. It is under ETD right here, and that's probably later in your, while you're here, after you take a few classes, you'll be interested in looking at how to upload your electronic thesis. That would go into the digital commons. So I know I totally overwhelmed you with all that stuff, but you have my contact information, and I'm happy to take your questions, anytime when you're in class. All right.